voice sometimes has the potential to turn people the wrong way.
You just call me a bitch.
Are you good?
Welcome back to my channel. This is Sammy Sampi. Let's talk about the latest episode of the Housewives of New York right now. So it starts with the ladies who are still at Erin's Hampton home. Bryn came the day before and she ended up sleeping with Erin because she didn't have a place to sleep at because Jenna decided that she was going to stay sleeping with the ladies this time. They wake up and they talk to each other, and Erin is finally decided to do the famous shakshuka she's been talking about the entire last episode. So we see her in the kitchen, she's cooking, and Sai is talking about, I'm tired, like we don't eat enough here, like I need more food. She's making the shakshuka. The shakshuka is looking really good. So Uba is smelling all the others ladies come down and they proceed to eat the food. I feel like in general, everybody enjoyed Erin's shakshuka for Sai. Sai didn't like that. She felt that was just tomato mixed with eggs. I like shakshuka. It's a good brunch. Just add a little pepper, because I'm an African girl, so I like my stuff spicy. As they're having their shakshuka, they're discussing their Thanksgiving plan, and Bryn is saying that she's going to jet to London to see her ex-fiance that she's still good friend with. That's when we learned that Bryn had like 3 fiancés and it didn't work out. She explained that her upbringing was not easy, her family is shitty, and she usually don't really like the holidays. So yeah, I would say that if I were in her shoes, the best thing I would want to do is either travel to a place that does not celebrate Thanksgiving, because in this America, Thanksgiving is a bigger deal than Christmas. So I would go to a country that does not care that much about Thanksgiving, or I would look for a very close friend and like try to celebrate with them. The ladies are chatting and everything and end up leaving. Jessell is so excited to leave. I'm like, girl, it wasn't that bad, wasn't it? Jenna is saying that she's rating the trip a 5 out of 10. I'm like, okay. I mean, Jenna said from the beginning that was her first girls' trip and she didn't have high expectation anyway. Back in New York, we have another big highlight on Erin. And I'm like, look at them pushing on Erin. It seems like she has a lot to give. We see her in her element. She works in real estate. It seems that she renovates apartment and get them ready. So she is giving us a pretty good detail of what she does. She's explaining to us that her dad is in real estate. He flips homes. Her mom does the same. Apparently, she sold the building. I'm like, girl, Erin is probably from one of those New York Jewish family that are really rich and that came to New York and invested in it when it wasn't what it was before, and now they're like swimming in money. Seems that she's also is a hard worker on her own self. She's definitely working. We see her having a relationship with the worker that she has. They're smiling at each other. Erin is a boss lady and she's a mom. So yeah, that's great to see. Then we see Bryn going to her hairstylist. And when she get there, I see black ladies. And I'm like, if you remember last episode review, I said I thought that maybe Bryn was black, right? And yeah, it seems that she is mixed. She is half black. Her dad was black, and she's opening up about a struggle with her hair, being raised by a grandmother who was white that didn't really know how to take care of her hair. And one day she was introduced to a black woman hair salon, and she loved spending so much time there because she related to the ladies there, and it was nice to hear her talk about it. But at the same time, I was like, oh, I felt so bad for her. It seems that Green's upbringing was really, really hard. The more she talks about it, the more she's opening up. Her having to almost have to pass for white. I mean, I don't think she said it per se, but I kind of felt that way.
Like my grandma, she was white, so she didn't, raising 3 biracial kids.
I always say I feel kind of bad for mixed people that grew up with their white side and not their black side. People that are mixed and that are blessed to have white mom that took the time to learn how to like deal with their children's hair and learn that side of their culture, really like, or like, involved, interested mom. Because at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do. And I always felt that mixed children with the white mom, unless the mom is willing to make all the effort, they have it a little bit harder. Let me know what you think about that. Next, we see Uba. We get to see Uba's apartment, which is beautiful, like the hearts that she has a little bit everywhere. Uba is a woman of style, and you know she's probably making money. She has a friend that come and visit her, and they get to talk. That's when we learn that Uba have own spices and sauce. I would say they're more sauces. And she explained that whenever she became a model, she had to eat a lot of steamed food, but she still wanted it to have good taste. And that's how she came with the idea of a sauce. And apparently the sauce were one of Oprah best thing for like 2021. This is a great achievement because when Oprah usually like your stuff, it's going to have a lot of coverage about it around it. I'm sure there's a lot of demand on that. It did bring up a sauce whenever they were eating the shakshuka, and I was like, yeah, girl, I think it was too spicy for Jenna, but yeah, like Uba is me. So she's opening up to a friend who seems to also be like a listening here, and the struggle, the stuff that she's going through, the fear that she has. Talk about losing a mom.
My mom passed December 2012.
It's my mom.
Oh my God.
And she really got sad. That's when it got really, really emotional. And I ain't gonna lie, when I was watching it, I had to pause and call my mom. Everything she's saying is true. If you are blessed to have been raised by your mom and to know your mom and to have a good relationship with her, even if you don't, like, try as much as you can to foster the relationship unless it's really toxic and your mom is a problem. But yeah, like it's very important to cherish your parents. I have a very good relationship with my mom, and I cannot even imagine what would be left of me if she gets to leave. This hurt, I cannot even imagine the hurt. I think about the orphans, children that were raised without their mother and stuff like that, and it really does something to my heart. One day I really would like to be able to open like my own orphanage, or like really make bigger donation to orphanage. I have made donation to orphanage in Africa before. Every time I hear about people being sad about them, look at that grown woman crying about a mom. That's how important it is to have a mom. So yeah, it really touched my heart. It was really emotional. Sure, good luck on the business. I'm sure she's going to be able to figure it out. And I hope that being on Real Housewives of New York is definitely going to bring more exposure to that. Next, we have Sai. Sai is with her husband. I think she's cooking. And they talk about Bryn. Sai is saying that she really relates a lot to Bryn. And when she tells her husband about, what she knows of Bryn's upbringing, her husband is like, yeah, y'all have very similar upbringing. And she's like, you know what? For Thanksgiving, she's not going to be here. She's going to be alone. So let's have a Friendsgiving for her. And her husband is like, great idea. And I'm like, I like that. Sai and her husband look like they like each other a lot, like they're friends. So Sai called Bryn right away and she tells her, and Bryn loves it. And she says she's going to help by bringing alcohol. And it's nice. I really love the fact that Sai had the idea to do that for a friend. And then they talk about Jessell behavior during the trip, her complaining a lot and stuff like that. Sai feels like she just needs to get fucked, and seems like Bryn is thinking the same. So they're bringing the situation to Sai husband, who is being very nice and is saying, maybe they just need time together. They have two children together. They all admit that the twins are handful. So yeah, I mean, poor Jessel. I told y'all nobody gonna let her go until she actually have sex with her husband because woo, she should have never opened her mouth. Next, we have Jessel and her husband who are catching up. She's catching up on what happened in New York. Jessel recounter of the event is definitely more subdued than how it really was. Like she's really downplaying her rudeness toward the other ladies, especially toward Jenna. And her husband is telling her, "Well, that's how you be." And she's trying to like put words on him that he didn't necessarily say, but her husband is being honest to her and telling her about herself.
Tone of voice sometimes has the potential to turn people the wrong way. It's the right word.
So you're calling me a bitch?
I will never say that.
And she's not liking it. The part when they were also talking about finding a private school for their 2-year-old and she wanted him to be in certain school because she wants her son to be where the rich people are. I was like, that's how rich people operate. She's almost even accusing her. She even, I think, accused her husband of being cheap because he doesn't want to pay that type of money for his kids to go to preschool. And this is one thing I've learned. I do not have children. I've learned from people that have children that the best time to really educate your children for them to get as much information as possible is between the age of like 2 years old and 7 years old. So I guess if this is the case, I would invest a little bit more on those formative years so that whenever they get to like high school, they can go maybe to public high school with everybody else. I don't know. My time has not come yet where I have to make those type of decision. But one thing I've realized is that it is expensive to have a child, and maybe we should start saving for a child way before they're born. Her husband is telling her about herself. One thing though that got me looking at Jessell and her husband's side eye is the way they agree about not having time to have sex. And as a woman, I feel like usually women are more disciplined when it comes to like their sexual life and stuff like that, but we still do have needs. Men's are not known to be as disciplined, and in the world that we're living, I would feel like you should be worried as a woman if your husband is not asking you for sex. 2 years of not asking for sex is a long time. Unless you're sick and you're really in a position where you cannot have sex, your husband not asking you for sex for 2 years would make me believe that he is potentially getting it from somewhere. Let me all know what you think in the comment. I just felt really weird that they agreed with the situation, or maybe he doesn't agree with it, but he faked it for the camera. I don't know, but let me all know what you think in the comments. On the other side, we have Jenna and Erin meeting together, and as usual, Jenna is just a case. I just really like her humor, the way she does. Erin is like trying to give her coffee, and she's like, "I'm giving you my mother's mug," and there's like a hole in here, and Jenna is like, "Because that's not a mug." I love Jenna, man. And then they're talking about Jessell and the fact that she actually met with Jessell and that they had a conversation. Jessell is talking about, you need to let me know if there's something that I do that's offensive. Girl, when you think, you don't think you're pushing it yourself? Like, yeah, no kid, like what the hell? Like sometimes you don't need for the person to tell you offended them. Just look at their face. Talk about it. And it seems that Erin is not really saying it for Jessell. Let me know. But it seems like she's not really seeing it for her. And Jenna tells her that Jessell said that, called the ladies like old hag or whatever. So yeah, Erin ain't happy about it. Next, it's time for Bryn's Thanksgiving party that Sai is organizing for Bryn. I love Sai outfit she's giving Ankara. And whenever she was talking to the chef, I was like, ooh, he has a strong African accent. Is the food also going to be African? I would love that. But when he's giving her the menu is not really giving African. It's definitely giving exotic. Bryn coming and she's looking beautiful. That bottle of alcohol that she's holding, I know is expensive. Her dress is beautiful, love the up and back, and Bryn is such a flirt. As soon as she sees the chef, she's like,
Hi. Okay, so this is Bryn.
Hi, I'm Koenig. I'm the chef here tonight. So we're making sure you're going through like everything and...
Oh, we're gonna love it.
Oh,
Yeah. He's married. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay.
ladies are coming in. Uba is coming. I love the gold dress on her. Sai, daughter giving her a compliment, and then she's showing her the back. It was just a cute moment. Everybody is coming in, and Sai doesn't want New York, dirt in her house, so everybody has to remove their shoes. I don't have a problem with that personally. I feel like when you host a lot of people at once, it becomes complicated, and I wouldn't have everybody remove their shoes because then why am I going to put all those shoes? I'd rather just clean after they leave. It is what it is. When Jessell comes in, Erin tells the other ladies that she called them like Ako Ag or whatever term, and they go back and forth about it here.
Like cackling hacks.
What that mean? What is cackling? It's not nice. Wait, what?
Go and start eating. Of course, the dinner is in honor of Bryn. So of course they're asking Bryn to open up a little bit about how she grew up, but she's not feeling it.
Let it out, girl. We can't talk about any of that today.
She's not feeling it. And they push her a little bit, but you can see the pain in her. Like, especially during a confessional, the girl was red in pain. She was in pain. And it seems that she has gone through hardship. And I felt bad. I felt bad for her, from living in Section 8 to not being changed as a baby. It seems like her parents were doing a lot of stuff that they shouldn't be doing. And that is why she and her siblings were in the care of her grandmother. I felt for her. Like, I really felt a pain. Like, the way she was, I was like, child. That girl is usually so bubbly. She'll crack a joke. She's flirty, a little bit over the top. When everybody comes in, she say happy Friendsgiving, and then she's showing her back, and she's so playful and everything. And to see the contrast and seeing her in such pain, it touched my heart. So yeah, I have no words. I have no words. I just hope that she's going to be okay mentally, because I feel like it's still touching her. And I wish for better days for Bryn when it comes to, her having a family. If marriage is something that she wants and having children, I wish that for her. I really do. So yeah, y'all, that was my review of the Real Housewives of New York. Let me all know what you think in the comment. And for those of you that are new, hey, welcome, and I invite you to. And for those of you that have been here with me, supporting me, thank you all so much. And I'll see y'all next week. Bye.